Welcome back to yet another review, this time for Criminal Record coming to Apple TV Plus Wednesday, January 10th. Coming, like I said, Apple TV. If you haven't, gotten ready Apple TV Plus, here's another reason to stay focused for another week-to-week drama that is definitely going to have you glued to your TV as it had me. I was highly intrigued as to what this was gonna be. I'm not usually into the crime dramas or any cop stuff, but like usually when it's like UK crime drama, it's gonna be good. You go get some good acting. And like I said, Criminal Record is coming to Apple TV. This story follows two brilliant detectives in a tug of war over a historic murder conviction dealing with issues of race, institutional failure, the quest to find common ground in a polarized Britain. So again, this is UK, this is Britain. So we're gonna get like a difference of how law works over there, how they do convictions, the lack of guns in the show for whatever reason, like police officers, like I guess because they're detectives, they don't carry weapons. At least I never saw one, and it's only 8 episodes. So like I said, it's not too long. It's gonna be, you're gonna get this on a week-to-week basis, and let you know how it is. This show is starring Peter Capaldi as DCI Daniel Haggerty. If you don't know who Peter Capaldi is, he was recently Doctor Who. Some years back, I want to say, what was it, like 2015 or 2018, maybe 2014, 2018, somewhere in that realm. All the doctors got to do their 3 seasons and be out. We have Cush Jumbo, who's playing June Lenker, DCI June Lenker. She was most recently, she was in The Good Wife. So I make sure I get all her credentials. She's in The Good Wife and she was in The Good Fight. She was Luca Quinn in there. I've never seen that show, but I mean, if she's as good as she is in this, I'm pretty sure it's good. But like I said, this is definitely an interesting show. And a very diverse group of characters in it. We got Sean Dooley as DS Kim Carwell, Charlie Creed Miles. We got Tom Mucci. I want to make sure I get that right. Is Errol Mathis. And if you are watching this as well, keep a lookout for the interviews that I have done with the leads of the cast. Cush Jumbo and Peter Capaldi himself, and Mr. Tom Mucci himself. On top of that, a couple of director credits. So if you're watching this, check it out. But the story, what keeps you intrigued for these 8 episodes? I think as I watch the entire thing, you want to believe it's going to be one thing, and then it turns out to be something else. It turns out to be one of the stories where you don't truly know, like the characters, and you truly don't know what happened until you get to the end. And even when you get there, you're kind of like, well, you kind of have a difference of opinion than you did at the beginning of watching this. You really don't know anything. And I mean, of course, this is, the show unfolds itself. You kind of go from one thing to the next, but don't think that you know exactly what you think is going to happen. Because I can tell you right now, I was wrong. You're probably going to be wrong watching this too. It's a lot going on, a lot to unpack. Like I said, it does deal with the race thing, even in the UK. Still dealing with black men being being messed with the police, being identified as a threat, stuff like that. Still trying to make your way as a black person in within the police department, and still having groups and sections that are still racist, or they view you as a certain way, even though you are working for the same organization. One of the things I think Cush Jumbo, she's in the show, she absolutely is given the physical work here. Like she has a couple scenes where she gets into it. Like, I'm like, one of the questions I asked, I'm like, hey, what did you, the physical, how much training did you have to do to really get into this? Because like sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable to watch some of these scenes. I'm like, okay, there's no way she's going to keep coming back to work. But no, June Lenker comes back to work because she is determined to want to right this wrong. She's one of those people, like one of those characters that regardless of if it'll get her killed or if it threatens her family, she's going to want to pursue it to the end, regardless of whatever the consequence is. And you see a lot of that in this show where she's willing to pursue this at all costs, while still dealing with her son who is black. She's mixed race. Like I said, they get into a whole lot of different topics of, the police brutality and, the what if, being stopped and stuff like that, dealing with her son who is black. And then, of course, navigating her way through a job which is majority white men. The show definitely, like I said, just kind of doesn't do the typical, is this person dirty? As far as cops, like who do you trust, stuff like that. Dealing just the emotion of it all, dealing with it with your coworkers and stuff like that. I gotta say, man, as much as I love Peter Capaldi, I was kind of hating him a little bit in the show, man. He was kind of getting on my nerves. I don't want to say he's good, he's bad, but once the story unfolds, you'll kind of jump towards him a little bit more. But like I said, man, he just kind of pisses you off in some of these scenes, like, dealing with June and like trying to overturn this case with like Earl Mathis and trying to figure out who the true killer is. Like we're going through this entire thing of trying to figure out who the killer is. And even if you think you still don't know. Like it's super, like it completely just throws you off every time you think you're close to what the truth is in the show. Of course, this show hits, topics such as drug use, and just overall depression, and what to deal with that, being overworked, how that could affect decisions. This show delves into memory. What you think you remember, you probably don't remember it as being what you thought it was. Just hits a lot of good topics. I gotta say though, as we did get to the end, I do think it was some holes. And then I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but I just don't think they had enough time to cover what they wanted to cover. I feel like this could have been longer than what it was. Within this season, they had a little bit more time. They could have ironed out some stuff a little bit more. But by the time you get to episode 8, you're like, man, it feels kind of rushed. But like I said, the cast in the show was great. Between Peter Capaldi and Cush Jumbo, between those two, just kind of going back and forth with each other is completely ridiculous. Seeing just kind of how they painted the world, seeing like how kind of UK law works a little bit, or at least in this world, how that works. And I've watched other like police dramas, and I don't know if this is BBC, but this is supposed to be coming to Apple TV. But I'm just saying, like in the UK, other crime dramas they show them within the UK. Kind of the same thing, but like I said, one of the things that really bothered me is like, man, is nobody carrying a gun? Like it just seems kind of inconvenient for them to be dealing with some of these situations, and you just never have any way to think stuff. They don't have the nightstick or nothing. So other than that, like I said, the show is pretty good. If I had to rate it, it's kind of tough because, like I said, I was kind of conflicted towards the end. And you might feel the same way. Please let me know if you did in the comments after you watch the show, how you feel about it, what you think about it going into it so far. But like I said, as I got to the end, I was just like, I don't know if I feel the same way as I did when I first started watching it. It just leaves a lot on the table that you'll see what I'm talking about. It just leaves a lot unanswered that you probably have questions to. But like I said, overall, it's a pretty good show. If I had to rate it, it's like a 3.5 out of 5. If I had to rate it, like it was good, but it didn't. I don't think it stuck the landing 100% for me. But like I said, the acting is great. UK actors, you're not going to go wrong. We talk about theater experts here. Everybody does a phenomenal job. I just wish they had a little bit more time to flesh out some of the secondary characters, give you a little bit more explanation of how they got from A to B. And even like, dealing with the Earl's son, I wish we would have gotten a little bit more there, because he's also in the show, dealing with, Haggerty's family as well, getting a little bit more insight to that. But like I said, I just think it was just an issue where it was just a lack of time. If they would have had more time, we probably could have got a little bit more seasoning on some of the characters. And I feel like they, like, once the show really kicks off, it's really kind of hard to spend time trying to iron out some of this. And the episodes are like 45, 50 minutes a piece. So I'm not really trying to give them excuses to why they couldn't do it, but they didn't do it. But again, like, let me know if you feel in the same way about the show. Like I said, it's only 8 episodes. It's really good though. Starting off the beginning, but I just do not think it sticks that landing. That's my only critique about the show. I think the acting is phenomenal. Everything else is well shot, but it did not stick the landing writing wise, and making the rest of the story make sense. It could just be me, but like I said, leave me a comment below. Criminal Record coming to Apple TV in January 10th. So like I said, when you check that out, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, you just want to see what Peter Capaldi's doing. If you're a fan of Cush Jumbo, want to see what she's doing, this is the show to watch. Like I said, 3.5 for me. Check it out. Leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys next time for another review. See you.